When you buy an RV for the first time, it can be overwhelming, all the different things that you need to buy to actually make the thing work. You see all the stuff that the dealership is trying to sell you in their store. You see all the stuff that the people in your Facebook groups are using that seem interesting. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. You see all the stuff the YouTubers are trying to hawk out there. Well, today I've boiled it down to the 10 essentials for new RVers. I've put together a list of the 10 things I think every RV needs. Everything else you can figure out later. You can figure it out on the road. You can buy it at Walmart. You don't need to have absolutely everything that you think you need when you first set out in your RV. Every RV is different. Every RVer is different. Get out there and see what you actually need. I'm Jason Epperson, and this is RV Miles. Okay, first up is the most essential thing. Every trailer owner needs this. Motorhome owners should use these too. A lot of them don't. I've even seen some fifth wheel owners not use them that absolutely should. Wheel chocks. This is an example from our friends at eTrailer.com. This is a real heavy duty wheel chock too, not something that's hollow plastic. It's solid. It's gonna actually hold an RV. If you've ever ran over a hollow plastic wheel chock, well, they kind of explode. So get a real one. I actually haven't used these. They sent these as a giveaway for the folks that are attending our homecoming rally. What we use is a pair of rubber ones that are linked together with a rope, but you can actually run a rope through this too. That's why there's a hole in it. So get these, get a pair for each side of your RV, whether you're in a motorhome or a trailer. You need to be chocked when you unhook your trailer from your truck or it will roll. It can crush your leg, it can crush your hand, it can do lots of really terrible things. Use some wheel chocks. These are not wheel chocks, even though they're called chocks. This is an X chock from a company called BAL, and these are fantastic. They go between the wheels on a tandem axle trailer. So if you've got two axles, they go between the wheels and they spread out. And they keep the trailer from wiggling back and forth. It takes a lot of the play out of the shake in your RV. They're not actually chocks. Even though it's called an X chock, do not use these as a replacement for these because these will collapse if they take the full weight of your RV. It says right in the manual, do not use our X chocks as chocks. I don't know why they call them chocks. More in a moment, but first, if you're like us, you absolutely need internet on your travels. And the sponsor of today's video is a great internet solution for travelers. It's a cellular device that works on multiple carriers from a company called Travelfi. Travelfi allows remote workers or anyone on the move really reliable internet access that allows you to move around freely. You don't have to have a permanent location at all to set it up. It's a small, compact device with no contracts and no commitments. You just pay for the months you use, and it just works really well, really quickly, really easily. And if it isn't working for you, they have a US-based call center to help you troubleshoot. Travelfi allows you to stream, work, and play on the go, whether you need internet in your RV, your cabin, even your hotel room. You can get internet in so many different places thanks to their multi-carrier network, and you can browse and work in confidence and comfort. When you go to their website and use the code RVMiles15, you can get 15% off your device order. Again, no contracts, no commitments. You just pay for the months you're using it for. If you're not traveling in the winter, you don't have to pay for it in those months. There's a link in the description below, or you can go to travelfi.com. That's TRAVLFI.com. There's no E. TRAVLFI.com, or go to the link in the description and use code RVMiles15 for 15% off. Okay, item number 2 goes right in line with the chocks, kind of works in tandem with the chocks, stuff you need to level out your RV, and that's going to be leveling blocks of some sort. Now, you can cut pieces of wood and use those. We use these sort of plastic Lego style blocks. They're actually really expensive lately. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, everything's more expensive lately, but these are fantastic. We use 40 of these. We travel with 40 of these. Now we have a lifted trailer, so it takes a lot for our stabilizers and our jack to get down to the ground. But essentially you want to stack up a few of these below your tongue jack if you have a travel trailer, and below any of the jacks on a fifth wheel, or below any of the jacks on a motorhome, and below any of the stabilizing jacks on a travel trailer. And then you can even put them under your tires to level out your trailer or your motorhome. You never want to level a travel trailer using stabilizer jacks. They're for stabilization only. What you do is you back up the low side onto a couple of these and try to level it out left to right that way, and then use the tongue jack on the front to raise and lower the front to get the front to back level done. But the more you can put wide blocks under the jacks under any type of RV, the more stable it's going to be, the less wiggling you're going to get out of those jacks. So we travel with a lot of these. Here's a tip though. They've started to come out with, like, these are the great ones. They come in a stack of 10. I think they're called the Fast 10, Fasten. They come in a stack of 10, and then there's a handle that goes down through the middle. It's a rod, and it screws in the bottom one so you can hold it as a handle, and it keeps all 10 together in a stack. They've now come out with these ones. If you've seen these at the store, don't buy these. I'm not a fan because you see there's no sort of holes in them, which means water collects in these. Actually, this one, we haven't camped in a while. This one is damp. Not a fan of that. That was an impulse buy, and I wish I hadn't bought them. Now, for sort of a combo between leveling blocks and leveling chocks, this is a good little kit here. This one comes from Blue Ox, but other companies make these as well. These are leveling ramps. So what you do is you back up onto this, and as you back up, your wheel gets higher and higher. So you can really dial in how level you are. So this kit comes with 2 of these. So if you've got 2 axles, you put these 2 under the tires of the low side of your RV and back up onto it until it's level. And then once you've done that, before you unhook, there's a wheel chock that goes on the other side that locks in with that and make sure that it's not going anywhere. If you don't put that underneath there though, when you unhook, guess what? Your trailer rolls down the ramp. These also come with rubber mats for sort of slick surfaces or smooth surfaces that you might be on. So you put these down first, and then you can put the wheel chock under that so it's not sliding around or anything. Love these. These are really fantastic for getting the perfect level in your travel trailer or fifth wheel. And again, those are from our friends at Blue Ox. Okay, right after wheel chocks, the next most important safety item is really taking care of your tires. And that's going to mean having something that allows you to check the pressure on your tires. Even better if you have something to fill them with. So you can get just a cheap tire pressure gauge that you can go around and check your tires with every time you stop, every time you're about to head out on a big travel day. Or you can get a full TPMS system that digitally sends this signal from your tires to the cab of your truck or your motorhome to tell you what the tire pressure is in your tires, so you can be constantly looking at them. But what do you do if your tires are low? Well, you want to carry an air compressor with you. You can get the cheap air compressors, but make sure that they go up well beyond the pressure that your trailer tire or your motorhome tire needs. Some of these tires need like 110 pounds of pressure, and your run-of-the-mill pump from the hardware store might not be able to do that. And even if it can do that, read the instructions, because those things need to cycle on for a few minutes and then off for like 10 minutes so that they can cool down. They will fail. I have destroyed several of them. I'm not a big fan of recommending spending big money on lots of these items, especially for first-time RVers, but you might consider a nice air compressor kit from a company called Viair. They make really, really nice pumps. They're full duty. You can use them constantly, and they have good pressure measuring with them and everything. And you can clip them to the battery of your truck. You can plug them in. You can use them in different ways. They make an RV kit that's really good. It's really expensive, but it's really good. All right, let's move on to electrical. Of course, you're going to need a power cord to plug your RV into the campsite. Your RV probably comes with a power cord. Most of them do, unless maybe you got it used or something like that. But in addition to that power cord itself, you're probably also going to want to pick up some adapters. So if you have a 30 amp RV, you're going to want to get a 30 to 50 amp adapter like this one. So this allows me to plug our little 30 amp travel trailer into a 50 amp outlet. There are some campgrounds out there that have only a 50 amp outlet. Usually if it's a 50 amp site, they'll have 30 and 50, but there are some out there that only have a 50 amp. If you have a 50 amp RV, of course, you're going to want to be able to reduce from 50 amp down to 30 amps. So you're going to want to get a reducing adapter. These are called dog bones by a lot of people because they look like a dog bone, but you're going to want to get one that reduces down to 30 amps. There are lots of state parks and stuff and lots of commercial campgrounds too that only have 30 amp connections. You won't be able to run as much, but you'll be able to run some stuff. And you might want to even consider getting a 30 amp to 15 amp adapter like this one. So this one is something that I might use if I'm in somebody's driveway or in my own driveway. I'm not going to run an air conditioner off of it or anything like that, but I will use it to keep my fridge powered up, to keep my batteries charged in a driveway or something like that. You just plug your power cord into this side and a 15 amp rated extension cord into this side. Make sure there's not much on the circuit that you're plugging into as well. And, go through all the precautions that you need to make sure that you're plugging everything safely. But this is something that has come in handy many, many times. This is also what I would use to plug into a portable generator if it doesn't have a 30 amp plug on it. And while we're talking about electricity, along with the power cords and the adapters, you're definitely going to want to get a surge suppressor. Get a smart surge protector. If it doesn't cost at least $150, it's not good enough. These devices are going to protect your electronics in your RV, both the stuff you have plugged in to your RV, if you got a computer charging, something like that, and the sensitive electronics that are on board on your RV. It's going to make sure that things don't get fried. So a surge suppressor is going to stop a power surge if there's, say, a lightning strike in the area. And you can get cheap devices that will help with that. What they won't do is shut your power off if there's high voltage or low voltage or reversed polarity. For that, you're going to want a smart surge protector. We have always used and highly recommend the Power Watchdog from Hughes, the Power Watchdog Smart Surge Protector. They have the version 2 out now, which is really, really good. Cannot recommend it highly enough, but make sure you have a high-end surge protector. Some people call them EMS devices, electrical management system. They're all the same thing. Just don't get the cheap ones that don't deal with high and low voltage. All right, next on the list is a drinking water safe water hose. You can't just use a regular green garden hose for an RV. You can, but you don't want to. Those hoses aren't regulated in any way. They're often made from recycled electronic parts. The fittings often have lead in them. You want to use a safe for drinking water hose. They're usually certified by an organization called NSF. I know people will say, I drank out of a water hose growing up and I'm fine. Well, cancer rates are pretty high. Drink out of a drinking water safe hose. Wash your dishes, shower out of drinking water safe hose. Trust me, it is not worth it to get something cheaper. Spend the few extra bucks. I like the newer flexible ones out there. There are lots of options out there. Camco makes a good flexible one out there that I'll put a link to in the description that I find great to put away, because some of like the white ones can get really unwieldy to coil up and put away. And along with a drinking water safe hose, you're going to want to get the next essential item, and that is a water pressure regulator. This is just a cheap one that is a fixed pressure, but you can get adjustable ones as well, and you can really dial in the pressure exactly how you want it. Water pressure varies dramatically at campgrounds across the country, and oftentimes it is too powerful for the plumbing in your RV. And even if your RV says it uses all PEX and it's rated for high pressure, don't listen to it. Get a water pressure regulator. It's really important. Use it every single time. Lots and lots of people have had leaks in their RVs, and for a lot of them, this is why. Water pressure, by the way, is not the same thing as water volume. So you can't just turn the spigot down and have less pressure. The pressure will still be the same. The volume will just be decreased. The flow will just be decreased. You still need to have a water pressure regulator. Make sure to get one. They're cheap. It is really, really, truly an essential. All right, next on the list is a good sewer hose. Don't just go to the store and get the cheapest one they sell. I really like the ones that use the bayonet fittings and have a clear elbow on the end. It may seem gross to see your sewage coming through a clear elbow, but that's how you know your black tank has been flushed clean enough, because the water running through it is clear. Make sure, though, not to get one that has that elbow attached permanently to the hose. And it's a little sneaky when you're shopping for these. So we use the Camco Rhino Extreme hoses. I've used several different ones. These are the ones that have had the fewest pinprick leaks on me. That can happen now and then. This is something you want to get that's very durable. So you don't want to get something that's easily going to get a hole poked in it and spring a leak. But they sell these in different kits, and one of the kits has a swivel elbow attached to the end of it. And unfortunately, if you use that one, you can't combine two hoses together as easily. So we actually carry two 10-foot hoses, and clear elbow. So we can connect the two 10-foot hoses together to make it a 20-foot hose. And that's going to change for you depending on the length of your RV. But for the most part, I only use the one. Every now and then I use both. And sometimes if a leak springs in one or something, I've got a backup then. But make sure to get that clear elbow and don't cheap out on your sewer hose. Okay, the 9th item on the list is a really good hitch. If you're towing a travel trailer, if you're towing a fifth wheel, or if you're towing a car behind a motorhome, you're going to want to get really good towing equipment to tow with. You're not going to want to just go to Walmart and walk down the aisle and grab the cheapest ball mount they have to tow your travel trailer with. You're going to want to make sure it's the right class hitch so that you can pull the right amount of weight. You're going to want to make sure that it fits the receiver on your truck, and you're going to want to just make sure you have good stuff. Most travel trailer owners are going to want to consider getting a good weight distribution hitch. Don't get the chain type for the most part. Except for a few brands, the chain types don't offer anti-sway capabilities. Usually the bar hitches do. The exceptions would be the Blue Ox version and the Anderson version. Both do have anti-sway in their chain style hitches. But definitely consider a weight distribution hitch. If you're getting a fifth wheel, get a really good fifth wheel hitch. Don't cheap out on it. If you're towing a vehicle behind your motorhome, there's a lot to consider there, whether you're going to put it on a dolly or you're going to get a flat tow setup. You're going to have a trailer brake controller, all sorts of stuff that goes along with that. So this video is a little too broad to get into all the specifics of towing equipment, but make sure you work with your dealer to get really well set up on what you're using to tow with. And the final item on our list, number 10, is a good RV toolkit. And again, I'm not going to go into all the things you should carry with you in a toolkit, but for the most part, it's the same stuff that you would use at home to fix things. You want to have a couple screwdrivers. Don't just use a multi-tool, have real screwdrivers in there. Get a multimeter and learn how to use it. That can really save a lot of electrical situations. You're going to want to have replacement fuses, maybe a replacement breaker in case a fuse or a breaker stops working, and different tapes, adhesives, and glues, just little things to fix some of the little problems. You can hire an RV tech to come out to fix the big problems, or you can learn how to do some of that stuff on your own and grow your toolkit. But if you want to be able to take care of just the little problems that you don't want to call somebody out for, you want to have just a basic handy toolkit. You can even pick up just a little beginner's home toolkit in a bag, and that will have you well on your way. Just make sure to get a couple automotive things with that, like some wire strippers, a little multimeter, and some fuses as well. So that's my list of the 10 essentials for the new RVer. I would love to know if you have any suggestions, or if you have any questions. If you're a new RVer, if you have any questions on any of these items and you want to ask them in the comments, I'm happy to help out. Thanks so much for being here. If you got something out of this video, hit the like button. And if you want more content like this, we hope you subscribe and become a member of the channel. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.